Hey everybody, this is RaikouRider, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy. In between this update and the previous update, I have dumped all my excess equipment, restocked on heal potions because we're going to be needing them, as well as just a couple other random odds and ends. After you defeat Carrie, this guy will tell you where the floater stone is. You're going to need to go to the ice cave, so I will show you where that is. Alright, we're back and we're at the port near Crescent Lake. Just head north along the coast until you come to a bay, and then anchor in the mouth of the river, and then just canoe the rest of the way to the ice cave. Being able to anchor your ship in the mouth of a river is another technique that you may want to employ for Chapter 5. I'll mention it when it becomes pertinent, but I don't think I'm going to be doing it myself. Follow exactly the directions that I do. Well, we've made it to the ice cave, but I want to use a house, so I'm going to take care of that on my own time. And we're back with full HP and magic, and I've saved, so let's go. This is the ice cave, the hardest area in the game relative to your current level development. There are just an unbelievable number of ways to die in here. It's not as long as the volcano. That was a battle with a large group of red bones from the marsh cave. Yes, you can run into groups of those here. Oh, fantastic! You can also run into large groups of cockatrices here. If you run into a battle like this, I would recommend having your physical attackers go after the mummies, and then use Ice 2 against the cockatrices because they are the only enemies in the ice cave that are actually weak to ice. Thankfully, Celeste got her turn first, so I don't have to worry about these stupid birds stoning my entire party like last time! The mummies are strong against ice, but it doesn't matter because you need to get those cockatrices out of there as quickly as possible. They're not explicitly weak to fire, but a Fire 2 spell should take care of most, if not all, of the cockatrices because they only have 50 HP. You'll want to save as many level 3 and 5 spell charges as you can because a lot of the enemies here naturally are weak to fire. And you're not going to be using your level 4 spell charges for anything else. On the second floor of the ice cave, you can go either south or west, and you'll get to your destination. They're not really worth using Fire 2 on unless... Oh, okay, this is a better example. This is a new enemy, the Wraith. I would just use Fire 2 if there are a large group of them. If not, you can probably get away with physical attacks. They do hit kind of hard. You're going to run into very large groups of undead about as frequently as you did on the third floor of the marsh cave here. And the Wraiths are actually pretty dangerous because they have a damage rating of 40. And they have 114 HP, so a single Fire 2 often won't finish the job. You'll have to have the rest of your characters clean up or cast a second Fire 2. And whether or not you cast that second Fire 2 really depends on how many spell charges you have and how far you are through the dungeon. I'm not that far through, so I can't afford to be real spendy with them yet. What's the point of this floor? And for some reason that staircase takes you all the way back to the first floor. It skips a floor. Floor for later, because we are going to be coming back here off screen at a future point. Oh wait, no, not this floor. This isn't the floor I'm thinking of. This chest is guarded by 1 to 4 mages. If there are a large group of them, I would run from them. But if there are a smaller group like this, you can get away with just throwing everything you have at them. Use Fire 3, Lightning 3, everything you have to kill these guys, because these are probably the most dangerous enemies in the dungeon. You're not actually supposed to be able to run into these guys regularly until Chapter 7. There is no reason for these guys to be in here. They can cast Rub, Bane, all 3 level 3 elemental spells. It's ridiculous. These guys are way too powerful for this dungeon, but they're here. And thankfully we were able to get rid of them before they were able to get a turn. And we did that for a cloth. Really, game? Whoopee cushion item, really? Yeah, this is the 2nd floor, not the 3rd floor. And in this chest, we get the Flame Sword, completely unguarded! I wonder if those mages were supposed to be over there. You'll want to give the Flame Sword to your Red Mage, because it's a little bit weaker than the Ice Sword. And then we have to fall down one of the holes, and there's a large group of undead in this room, so I'll take care of them. Alright, now there are more damaged floors in here, presumably of something very cold. I don't know what. Alright, I've taken the liberty to heal up before this one, because if I take one more step to the north, I'm going to get into a battle with a couple of new enemies. Frost Dragons. These are a 1 in 64 encounter normally, but you can run into up to 2 of them here. You'll definitely want to have your Red Mage or White Mage cast Anti-Ice in the first round and use Fire 3, because these guys have an attack called Blizzard, which deals about as much damage as Blaze. So, yeah, guess what happens if these guys ambush you? You lose. Just kill them as quickly as possible. They're a little less powerful than the Red Dragons in terms of HP and attack power, but still, Blizzard. We got him. And in this chest we get the Ice Armor. Nobody can equip that right now except the Fighter, which it is a little bit better than the Flame Armor. And not to mention you have the Flame Shield, so you'll want to have protection against fire and ice. And you have to fight those Frost Dragons again, coming back out of there. Thankfully I got a preemptive strike. Oh god, kill this guy quickly, because he actually can inflict instant death with his physical attack. Thankfully I only ran into 1. You can run into groups of up to 4 of those guys. They're probably the most frustrating enemies down here, just because you can run into them at a reasonably common rate. I actually think it's 1 in 10. Alright, this is what we're talking about. In these treasure chests, all of these, there are large amounts of gold. And you're going to need every bit of it. Now if I take another step to the right, I get in a battle with Frost Wolves, and you can run into 7 of these guys. I wouldn't even bother using anti-ice with your Red Mage, but if you have a White Mage you'll want to use it, because these guys have a special attack called Frost, which can deal pretty large amounts of damage to your party. And these guys can be just as nasty as sorcerers if you run into a large group of them, and they are random encounters down here. Look at all that gold. And when I say we're gonna need all this gold later, we will. Alright, I think that's all the treasure on this floor, so let's just head to the end. Now, I should be dying down here a lot more than I am. I think I've only died down here once. Probably because I've been getting pretty lucky not running into sorcerers. This chest contains a heal potion, which I desperately need. You can run into large groups of wizards down here too, up to 7. 10,000 gold, always welcome. And this room should wrap up the rest of the treasure. Okay, after getting these 3 treasure chests, if you are playing on the original console version of the game, I would highly recommend taking those stairs in the upper right corner to get out of the ice cave, use a house, and save. Just because there are so many ways you can die here. Alright, I've used a house, and I got back to where I was. So now you'll want to finally take the singular hole down to the 2nd floor. Now if I take one more step to the left, I'm going to get into the encounter with the sub-boss of the ice cave. Not really a boss. He's not strong enough to really merit being a boss. This is the Eye. He attacks exclusively with Glance, which will turn you to stone, and instant death spells. But he only has 162 HP, so don't even bother casting fast, just take this guy out in the first round. As a matter of fact, remember this spot for later, because there's a neat trick I want to show you later in the game. Well, now that we have the floater, the only way to get out is to go back down. So, I'm going to go through the remainder of these floors of the ice cave off-screen. Because we have to do this all over again. Isn't that lovely? Well, I'll see you outside the ice cave. Oh, we made it out. And we have the floater. But what are we supposed to do with it? Well, there's one particular guy in the game that will tell you what to do with the floater, but the game gives you no clue as to where he is. Guess where this guy is at? Freaking Elfland. Yep, Elfland. Alright, see where I am on this map? You'll want to anchor in the river on the southeast corner of the mountainous continent. Go into the desert. Go into your menu, use the floater. And voila! We have the airship. Now we can travel wherever we want. So next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy, we're gonna explore the world!